Welcome to Iron Lotus Tai Chi. In this video we're going to have a bit of a look at breaking down the moves in the Beijing 24 a little bit at a time, having a little bit of a look at the application of them because that always guides the shape of the move. Okay, so when we when we start, we want to feel just empty still, like an empty circle, and then we want to allow heaviness into our right leg, and then we step out to the left to our commencing position. Go back into a neutral, empty stance. The commencing move, when we breathe in, we want to start with our palms in a little, and as we breathe in, we want to let our tailbone drop a little, so there's a little bit down at the back to help the up at the front, and a little spiral through the arms as they come up, and the hands getting closer together. So if your arms are really long, they would meet in the distance, okay, so they're coming in this way a little bit. If someone grabs this and you push straight forward against them, you're going to be fighting against them. If you have just a little spiral, you're going to twist their wrist just a little bit, and you can compress into the center, which we call a G energy in Tai Chi. Okay, so if we've got this little spiral here, and little compression, and then breath out to sink, okay, just down to waist height. This move also, if someone tries to grab you by the throat with both hands, this sort of move can be used to come up between their hands, then on top, and then to pull down, okay? Same sort of thing, if someone comes to grab you by the shoulders, again, you can come up inside, get your hands on top, heavy elbows, drop the body weight, okay? And just having a little bit of that sort of insight is useful for that move, okay? The next move in the form is the part the wild horse's main move, and I'll do that once straight towards the camera and once over to this way, okay? So if I've got my feet like they would be at the beginning of the form, I've done this little turn to hold the ball, and this arm here, if something's coming in towards me and I roll it in like this, it's going to deflect and stick to it, okay? So if a strike is coming in here, deflecting it by cowing the shoulder here a little bit. This hand is protecting the throat and close to the face. And then stepping forward, and this hand can be grabbing their hand, and we're going under their arm to tip them over our leg here. And then once they're leaning back, a sink, okay? This movement depends on the height of your opponent. If your opponent is about your same height, it's, you can grab a jab that comes in and you can be under it and you can tip them over. If they're significantly shorter than you, you can take their punch and you come over the top of their arm and you can take them across the throat. Okay? So this move, we want to make sure we're forward before we turn, okay? So this one here, again, we're here, and you'll see my body is still this way, facing this way. I come forward, and then my opponent is here, and the turn of the body pushes them over the leg, okay? Going into the next one, which this move then repeats, this front hand, again, there can be a strike coming in, and you can be deflecting as you turn, drawing that out there, and then pulling that down, tipping them over the other leg, okay? Just having that little bit of insight, I think, is quite useful. So again, from our commencing move where we've compressed in a little, separated a little, turned the ball, deflected this punch here, stepping across to shoulder width, wait for it, turn, okay? And we rock back, and we turn here. This one, if it was deflecting a punch, would do this sort of action. So that's the sort of action we want it to do here. So that turns it into a palm down position. This one is now palm up. And again, if there's a strike coming in here towards my belly, I want to turn the body. So this arm rolls in, and that strike is going to miss my body or glance on the body. And then step forward, wait forward, turn to tip that person over the leg, okay? Same again, if a strike is coming in here, it's coming here, and I'm turning it this way, okay? and then I'm compressing in, and again, the strike is coming here to my belly, so I turn to deflect, and also to make it so if it does hit me, it's going to glance, weight forward, opening up, and always at the end, sinking, letting the tailbone sink, letting everything in the body become heavy, okay? And that's yeah, if you just go through that a few times, that will be quite helpful for those first couple of moves. At first, often, if you look at these lines on the tiles here, often at first people will step narrow, and they'll do this, and because they haven't got a broad stance, it'll be all arm. You turn your body, nothing much happens. Okay, if you've got a broad stance, you can turn the body, and instead of using your arm, it's coming from legs and waist, and that's where there's lots of strength and power down there. Okay, and again, at first, nearly everyone tends to use their arm a lot. And if we talk about the Tai Chi Classics talk about the power or the energy coming from our feet, being directed by the waist and delivered by the hand with no additional force being added at any joint. Okay, so if I'm here and I step like this and I do this with my arm, that's not this move. Okay, I'm adding a whole lot of energy here at my shoulder. If I step across, I come forward and then I just turn the body and just let that arm come across with the turn of the body. That is coming from here and here, which is what we want, okay? So if I hop back a little bit again, I go same to the other side. And again, this compression here, I could try and block like this, but it's not going to work because my body's going to be on the wrong angle and it's not going to have the strength. If I turn my body to create that block, any strike is going to miss, come forward and turn. Okay, this pretty much in line with this leg, doesn't need to go out here. Okay, that's wasted effort, wasted energy. Alright, and we go one more time. We rock back and we're turning and we're holding the ball, and then we're rolling that in, turning the body, we step, and because the body is wound up, when I release it, wants to spring open, okay? And that springing open is something that we're using all the time in Tai Chi. There's often a compress and then a release, okay? So by generating stretches and compressions in the body, we can generate a lot of power without having to go and add from our shoulder, or you know, to add from the shoulder here, okay? Okay, so that's just the first couple of moves, but that should be enough to keep you busy just watching that a few times, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed it, and again, if you like it, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Thanks.